So we started from scratch, square one. We only had one guy that played standing, able-bodied rugby league as a junior. He played in the under-18s. But the rest of us, we were starting from dead scratch. And we had to gel, and we had to come together once a month. And, you know, we did what we could, and we just didn't execute our game plan today.
But how enjoyable a process has this been, and how far do you think the sport can go now that you've sampled something like this?
Oh, absolutely. We have a ton of support back home. All our family, all our friends, all our coworkers. Random people are just friending me on Facebook saying, I want to get involved. How do I do it? So we're gonna get to grow the game when we go home for sure.
And in terms of how you played the game, clearly you're a very fit team. You like the kick over early to try and capitalise on that.
Yeah.
Will other tactics come the more you play, or are you just playing to your strengths?
This time we were just trying to play to our strengths. Obviously it didn't work. We didn't execute the game plan that was outlined. But yeah, we'll adapt, adjust. We'll look at the other teams, what they do, and we'll try and play to our strengths as well.
Can I just remind people that Geoff would like you to speak up a little bit so we can hear you.
And when she says a little bit, she means a lot.
It's a pretty impressive second ever game for the team, right?
Yeah, I thought we did pretty well. I think we made too many mistakes, and I think inexperience really told the story. Wales have obviously been around for a good while, and it showed. I think we they actually covered our strengths very well, our speed and our kick-throughs, which worked very well against Scotland. They dropped a man back, and he was fast enough to retrieve most of them. So, you know, that's good coaching, and all credit to Wales. But, you know, on the other hand, my guys tried. They tried to the very end. They put up a tremendous effort, and we kept fighting to the end. So, you know, to lose to a team like Wales by 18 in a World Cup, I know it's going to be very disappointing for the team, but we'll get stronger and come back and hopefully get a few more competitive games and look forward to the World Cup in France, I believe, in 2025. So it's a good learning experience for us, and I just appreciate the opportunity we've had and the players I've had. They coached well, and they listen, and you know, we were just beaten by a better team today.
How do you approach now playing a third game in such a short space of time?
Well, you know, the third game, of course, against France, world champions. They've put some cricket scores on some teams. We obviously want to go out fairly positively. I mean, I've got a squad of 12, and you know, I've largely played just 7 or 8 players, and you know, to be fully competitive, you know, the bottom end of the bench are not quite as good as our starters, but I want to put some people in and give them a game as well. So we'll just see how it goes. I'm not claiming victory at this point, but you know, who knows? Who knows? We'll take each one as we go and just look at it as another learning experience, playing the world's best.
And just for the two of you, looking ahead, rugby league as a running game has really struggled to break the American market. Do you think the way in for the sport is through wheelchair, and when you get back you'll be able to start that domestic competition and then move the sport forward?
Geoff, you want to answer something? Then I'll answer that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said after our press conference against Scotland, each one of the 12 players, Matt Wolof actually lives here in the UK, but the 11 players that are in the United States, we've all been asked and charged with being ambassadors for the sport. So wherever we live, we've been asked to recruit our friends that have disabilities and start a team in our community. And that way the league inside the United States builds to, 6 or 8 teams hopefully along the eastern seaboard, because most of us are from South Carolina, North Carolina. We've got a girl from Texas. So if we can get 3 or 4 domestic teams, 6 or 8 would be awesome. But even if just 3 or 4, that's a pool of a bigger athlete that we can pull from next time we hopefully come to France.
I think the game has real potential over there, the wheelchair game. We've gotten so much social media coverage and all kinds of things from people back home that really have just realised what we've got going. And I think wheelchair rugby league, the United States obviously has a very large population, we've got a lot of veterans over there. I've got 7 veterans on this team from the Army and the Marines and the Air Force. And, you know, I think our idea is to push it, particularly in military installations, colleges, and we really think it's fertile ground. So if we can get, you know, money tends to be the bane of all our existence, and if we can get some sponsorship, I really feel that we could spread the gospel. Because when I was asked to coach, I played rugby league in the 70s in Sydney for Newtown and Penrith, and when I was asked to coach wheelchair rugby league, I was, how interesting can this be? And then when I saw some video, I started coaching. I mean, it's just a passionate sport, and people, I think, will really take to it.
You mentioned as well you want some more games before 2025. Would you encourage nations to come and tour America to get that experience, and you will be able to play some internationals at home?
I'm sorry, I'm had way too many concussions playing, so I'm a bit deaf.
No,
Did you hear that? You answered.
Yeah, we've actually already had interest from the English, from France, to do some friendlies. They'll come over to the United States, and we will host them as the host nation and just play a couple friendlies against them. What better way to get game experience against the top 2 teams in the world?
Yep.
So we fully anticipate and hope that those countries will take us up on the offer to come to the United States and play against us.
We're also trying to get potentially Ireland to come over to Boston for St. Patrick's Day, you know, get Guinness or someone to sponsor that. It would be a match made in heaven, I believe, you know, excuse the pun.
You can climb the rankings pretty quickly because it's a new sport, right? So you're in at the ground floor, and you can tell your home market that we're number 8 in the world or we're number 7 in the world. That impresses people, right?
Absolutely. Yep. And I heard through the grapevine that France is, in 2025 is hoping to field 16 teams. So we've also been charged to help other nations around us, namely Mexico, Canada, some of the Central and South American countries, to get a team together. That's just going to strengthen our game as well, right? We're a lot closer to those teams. We can play friendlies against them. That does mean we have to qualify, but I like our chances in qualification.
Okay, for matches like today where it's very close, how do you think that as well will impact on your journey in wheelchair rugby league?
You know, it just teaches us to play to our strength, play within ourselves. And that's what we didn't, in my opinion, that's what we did not do well today, especially in the second half. We were only down 8 at halftime. And then, you know, we saw the strengths of Wales, and we weren't able to counter their strengths as well as we had hoped. And we also didn't play to our strengths. So that's just a learning opportunity for us as a 12 and as a coaching team to help us get better. Not only now do we know how to play Wales because we've played them once, but now we know what we can do better in terms of our own game.
Great, thank you very much as well, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Okay,